Kia ora te whānau. Welcome to the very first update of my saggy bowels saga. It's been 2.5 weeks since I exposed my saggy bowels to the world, and I thought it might be time just to let you all know how I'm getting on. So first of all, a big thank you to everyone who has commented on the original video that I posted, and also to everyone who has privately posted to me. I really do appreciate the support and the encouragement that you've all provided. I have made a point of reading every single comment, and what amazes me really is the number of people who have been in this situation, or family members or friends or whatever. It's a lot more common than you and than I realized, and also the thing that surprises me the most is that saggy bowels does not discriminate. The number of people who had this condition when they were in their teens, I cannot even begin to imagine how embarrassing and how difficult that would have been for you guys. At least at my age, people aren't going to give me a hard time, and you know, I really don't I really don't care anyway. So yeah, thanks for all the stories and the support that you've provided. What I thought I would talk about today is things to look for and ways to treat the Bell's palsy condition, because inevitably, based on the stats, some of you are going to end up in this position at some stage in your life. I shouldn't really go quoting stats when I haven't got them at hand, but I know that as I say, it is more common than we realise. So it's going to be a thing for some people. And these are the things that I want you to think about if it happens to you. So I put together an acrostic poem. So sore neck is a thing that was a reality for me. 2 days prior to waking up with the saggy bowels, I had a sore neck. Just right down the, well, just slightly left of the middle. And at the time we were staying at an Airbnb. So I put it down to the bed that we were sleeping on and the pillows, thinking, you know, I can't wait to get back home. But according to the doctor, that is a classic sign of the onset of bowels. So keep that in mind. If ever you have a sore neck and can't put it down to a particular reason, then it could well be that you end up with bowels. I don't want to be an alarmist, but it is a common thing for a lot of people, just in the couple of days leading up. So that's the first thing to keep an eye on. If you do wake up with Bell's palsy, get to A&E. For me, it was a Saturday morning, and obviously the GP's closed on those days, and nowadays it's a bit harder to get into the GP at late notice. So we rang the emergency doctor, and because it was nerve related, they said head straight down to A&E, and I'm pleased we did. We managed to deal with it pretty quickly. The staff down at the hospital were amazing. They knew exactly what was going on and were able to prescribe the right medication for it. So that would be my advice, is just to head straight down to A&E. I'm assuming that most people would know the difference between a stroke and Bell's palsy. I just knew, I guess, that I hadn't had a stroke. But I obviously didn't know what Bell's palsy was. I didn't know what the condition was, but I just knew it wasn't a stroke. And I think most people would know the difference if it happened to them. Get steroids. So that's what I was prescribed for the first week. It was quite a strong dose that the doctor gave me. I don't actually have the thing here, but it was, oh, here it is. So it came in this little container. 3 tablets I had per day of 20 milligrams for 7 days. And according to a doctor friend of mine, that's gold standard treatment. What the steroid does, and this is just my understanding, is it helps to get rid of the inflammation. It also tells those antibodies that your immune system has put up that they just need to settle down for a bit. And the other thing, according to other friends of mine, is that the steroid helps with the recovery. It helps to speed up the recovery. So everybody I've spoken to has said, make sure you get onto the steroids as quickly as possible. So that's the first G. The second G is get the antiviral pills. Now, at A&E, the first doctor I spoke to, he talked about the antiviral pills, and his opinion was that it wasn't that effective, and so he didn't give that to me straight away. And it wasn't until about day 6 that I went back to the doctor, because what had happened in the interim is that I had developed all these mouth ulcers, and they were all on this side of my tongue, like 20 of them, and it was, as you can imagine, really painful, especially when it came to eating, and really uncomfortable when it came to sleeping. So the antiviral pill dealt to that pretty quickly. Within a couple of days, it had gotten rid of all of those ulcers. So even though the doctor said they're not effective, I highly recommend, I haven't got the box here, but I don't even know what they were called, some kind of antiviral medication that your doctor would be able to prescribe, and that was for a course of a week as well. And the final thing is just to remember, you're not Superman, you're not Superwoman, and this is something that I have to remind myself, because and those of you who know me will know this is true, I love to be busy. I always have several things on the go, but when it comes to the saggy bowels, you've really got to look after yourself. You've got to rest up in order for that recovery to speed up. So for me, that's meant backing off some of the drama classes that I'm taking. Fortunately, I've got a really good group of friends who are able to step up and help with that. With our other business, South Stays, I've had to step back from a lot of the hands-on cleaning and that sort of thing. But once again, fortunately, we've got people who have been able to help out. So if you do end up with the saggy bowels, take it easy, look after yourself, try and rest up as much as possible. One of the things that I have suffered from is nerve pain, and this is not that common with the other people I've spoken to. So I get this pain right there. It's like an electrical pulse. Also occasionally back here and up here. They're very specific places. And so I've been prescribed, it's actually an antidepressant called amitriptyline, which I take at night. What that does is it deals to the pain, but also it wipes me out for the mornings. So that's probably a good thing, that it forces me to rest in the mornings. But ideally, yeah, I'd like to get off the pills. I've taken more pills in the last few weeks than I've taken my whole life. One of the other medications that I am taking, which hopefully will be a good replacement for the amitriptyline, is CBD oil. And I don't know if I should be talking about this publicly, but that has been a miracle oil. You just take a little eyedropper under the tongue, and that seems to deal to that nerve pain. I tell you what, and I'm not going to rant here, we made a big mistake. New Zealand made a big mistake by not voting yes to legalising cannabis, because when you're in a position like mine and you need that pain relief, you realise how difficult it is to access, how expensive it is, and we had an opportunity to fix that, but unfortunately we voted the wrong way. But don't get me started on that now. That's pretty much all I wanted to say this time around. I know there was a lot of feedback to my first video in regards to the COVID vaccine and side effects, and whether perhaps this is a side effect of the vaccine. It is a known side effect. I think we all know that. And what I would like to do before talking too much about it is actually do a bit of research and come back to you with a few findings. So if you happen to be a doctor or some kind of medical professional who knows about the vaccine, who knows about the side effects, or if you have a direct dial to Dr. Ashley Bloomfield, then hook me up. I'd love to talk to you on camera and share that information with all of those who are following along at home. But for now, take care. It's a pretty crazy time at the moment for all of us. So let's just be kind to each other and take each day as it comes.